With the Chinese coronavirus being spread around the earth and being termed a pandemic, life as we know it has completely and fundamentally changed for the time being. On a more microscopic level, because everyone is being affected, we were going to look at how UNLV has changed specifically during the response to the coronavirus. I'm an on-campus student and I live in the dorms, and a lot has changed. As of March 12th, all of us students were informed that we would be going and be transitioning to online. This was sources from the Las Vegas Review Journal by LaFernie March 11th, 2020, and it describes that both UNLV and UNR are transitioning online, and a question of when will the future the schools of CCSD also transition to online. Upon knowing this, March 12th, the Housing and Residence Living of the UNLV contacted and emailed every single student that lived on campus saying that if you did choose to move home and stay there and not come back, you would receive a prorated refund. This is because it was official. UNLV will be transitioning to remote learning. Other students that did not want to leave and didn't want to stay, they wouldn't have to file for anything and they would just live life as normal. On March 17th, things changed, and everything changed that whole week. Every single day it felt like we had a new update as students and also as students living on campus. It was hourly. We were all looking for answers, and the administration and the UNLV leadership were trying to seek those answers, and so they can answer us all our questions. On March 17th, UNLV Residence and Living issued another email stating that the UNLV Residence Hall will be closed and that all students had to leave by March 21st. Although there was an exception. You could file for approval of staying, but it was case by case. And luckily, a lot of kids needed that, and luckily the kids were approved, because I know kids in the hall, in my hallway specifically, and I asked them, "Oh, are you going to be going home?" And they said, "We can't go home right now, especially we weren't expecting an expensive ticket of going home, and especially our parents aren't ready for us to be home, especially in this times of the coronavirus." And for a little more context of how things have changed, the Dining Commons, which is a cafeteria on campus, it has reduced its staff. A lot of the workers have been laid off for now, and there's a lot less food. And in terms of what UNLV parking looks like, I'll show you. On an average day, it is filled to the brim. Even in the free parking lot S lot, it is difficult it could take up to almost over 20 minutes if you're in peak hours, maybe sometimes 30 minutes, or sometimes you won't even find a spot. But if you do have a parking pass, it is also very difficult. Now, this is what the parking lots look like. Completely desolate. And I'm going to give you some context. So where I live, in the residency parking lot, I believe, and it's also next to the parking lot of parking lot L. Before the coronavirus, there was probably 60 to 100 cars packed. It was very difficult to find a spot even on a weekend night because people are here. Now, I counted, there was only 4 cars, and that's including mine. So a lot of people have left. They've gotten their prorated refund, and a lot of people aren't coming back. And so I want to leave with the question for you as students, for us. As students of UNLV, how does it feel? How does it feel to have our semester being transitioned to online? And do you think the response to the virus were appropriate for UNLV?